Alright, I got a little question for any viewers watching out there. But do me a favor, before you answer this question in the comments, please watch the whole video so you can get a good understanding of, like, what I'm talking about. Because at first it might, mislead you to think it's something other than what I'm actually asking. Okay, so the topic that I've been thinking about is this thing of, like, jokes from kid shows that you watched when you were a kid that you didn't get until you were an adult. Now, before you be like, oh, like this sex joke and this, adult reference or this, adult activity or, this political commentary or whatever, like, no. That's not the kind of jokes that I'm talking about. I'm going to give you two examples of the kind of jokes that I'm talking about. But basically, they're jokes that you didn't get as a kid, but then later gotten as an adult because they're a little too clever, a little too smart, maybe, for your child mind. So here's my two examples. They're both from cartoons. The first one is Doug. So there's one episode of Doug where he ends up kind of joining the school's football team in a way that he didn't really intend because the coach saw him get like kick a lucky field goal, basically. And the team is really bad, so they need somebody good, and they think he's it, but he's not it. And Doug, through kind of some dumb luck and other weird things, ends up kind of inadvertently scoring the team a touchdown. Now, after he scores from the touchdown, or helps for the touchdown, he's not the one who actually scores it, but he helps. Basically, they're so excited, so happy for him. And the coach is cheering. The coach is going out there cheering. We scored! We scored! And they do the whole cliche of, like, lifting him up on his shoulders and carrying him around because, they're so excited. And then there's, like, this whole thing where Doug ends the episode with his usual, journal writing narration. He's like, oh, we didn't win, but it sure feels like we did. And I'm watching this as a kid, and I'm like, wait, they didn't win? I'm confused. And I must have watched it at least a couple times. But, like, if they didn't win, why are they so happy and excited? Is this, like, a big game, even? But no, I didn't get the joke, basically, is that the team is so bad. This is literally the first time in their whole existence as a team, at least with these current people, that they've ever scored a touchdown. And that, what for a lot of people would be a very small victory, for them was this huge thing because they're such a bad team. And I didn't get that joke as a kid. The second example is from an early episode of SpongeBob. This one I'm sure more people will be familiar with because it's SpongeBob. This is in the whole boating license episode. I'm not sure if that's the title. One of those early ones. And the episode basically starts off. This is more of a opening episode joke than an ending episode joke. Where he's like all excited, be like, oh, today's the day I'm going to get my boat license, and he goes, and he's all excited and confident. He's like, the one guy's like, hey, I just got my license. And he's like, I'm getting mine next. And he's like, hey, I doubt it. And then, anyway, he goes to take the test, and he has kind of he passed the oral exam with flying colors. And then basically he goes and it's time to take the driving part of the test, and he just freaks out, has the panic attack essentially. By the way, I think the series finale should end with him taking some anxiety medication so he can finally get his boating license. But anyway, so he goes and does all that, and then, freaks out, has the big accident, Mrs. Puff puffs up, all that stuff. And then we do kind of a cut to him being like, I can't believe it, Gary. I failed this test 37, and then Gary correcting is like 38 times. And when I was a kid, I was kind of misunderstood what happened here. See, I thought that opening scene was him taking the test for like the very first time, or like an early one. And he was like all confident and prepared. And then we cut to like, I don't know, what must have been like months later after, seeing him fail it, 37 more times after that. And then it's like, oh, I failed so many times. But what I didn't get was that, no, that was the 38th time he's ever taken the test. And it goes pretty much exactly the same way every time. Hence why he's so good with the oral part of it all. And the joke is that this level of just confidence that he had going into the test was totally unearned because he's so bad at driving because he gets so anxious and worried, and then basically he just ends up failing. And him acting like it was just like 100% certain that he was going to pass the test despite having no real reason to, that's what the joke is. And I didn't get that again until watching it as an adult. So that's my question, is basically, what are jokes from kid shows like that where you didn't get it as a kid, but then you did get it as an adult? Not because it's like a joke about sex or some kind of adult content or some political, social commentary that a kid wouldn't know about or so that, but just because the joke was kind of just a little too maybe clever or subtle with the way it was presented that you didn't get it until it was an adult. Leave a comment, let me know.